Chapter number 4, building your brand culture. You need to establish a culture around the problem. What does it mean to establish a culture around the problem? It means your brand culture should connect people over the problem or lifestyle need they share. When do I establish a culture around the problem? Before you even sit down to design your culture, you need to ask yourself how your audience will connect over the problem. Where do I establish culture around the problem? It's simple. Whatever the problems are for your audience, that's the connection point. Why do I need to establish culture around the problem? Because the whole purpose of the brand culture is to strengthen brand loyalty, to make your brand help your brand become more established. Culture is by far the most powerful way to establish credibility. How do I create a culture around the problem? As you're designing your culture, keep your culture principles you have on a piece of paper in front of you, just to keep you disciplined. I'll give you an example. You got this dude, he has this brand called Kid Headhunters, and it solves the problem of helping parents connect their kids to the right profession at a young age so they can start specializing and becoming competitive in the job market. So he needed a brand culture connect his audience together and build a greater bond. So he chose to connect his culture of the common insecurity of their kids picking up the wrong profession in the wrong field and how it affects their life in a negative way. So every other month, he holds a Headhunters Anonymous group where the parents can list out their insecurities and he posts this on his lifestyle page. This not only becomes information for future products and tools to develop, he also has a stronger brand loyalty because his audience is connected over their challenges, and that is translated into more brand credibility, which translates into more industry influence, which translates into business success. Next principle. Your culture has to add value to your audience's life. What is culture value? Before you introduce your brand culture to your audience, you need to know how it is going to make their life better. Don't ask anyone to support you until you're creating value. When do you apply this? While you're designing your brand culture, you need to ask yourself, how is this going to benefit my audience's life? And be clear. Where does this apply? Throughout the life of the brand. Why do I need to add value? Because if it doesn't make the person's life better, why would they be interested or why would they stay interested? How do you apply this? You want to look at the problem of your brand and ask yourself, how can I solve my brand's problem using culture? Example, you got this beautiful young lady and she's dealing with this lifestyle problem of introducing young girls to makeup and making it easier for their parents to control the experience while developing and selling her own line of kid-friendly beauty products. Of course, she built a culture because she's a lifestyle brander. She understands the audience will not stay engaged with the culture unless it adds value to their life. So she creates an online forum exclusive to the members of the culture where her audience can communicate in confidence about their insecurities with their kids using makeup. They share stories, show pictures, and give each other advice. This connection and use for the culture to their problem leads to stronger branding engagement. Next principle. You need a culture acronym. What's a culture acronym? You gotta give your peoples a name. When do I do this? You will announce your culture acronym as soon as you make your brand culture live. Where would I put this? On your culture page, email blast, content, paraphernalia. Why do I do this? The stronger the connections, the stronger the brand loyalty. Your brand culture should feel like an exclusive club, but it should be connected to your audience's specific problem. How do I do this? Create a list of the 20 coolest, most relevant names to the brand problem and pick one. Example, you got this dude who solves this problem of kids who need help with science projects and the parents who don't want to help them. So he does science fair tutorials online, sells products around it, and will even come to your house to help your kids set their science fair projects up. He builds a culture connecting families with their science fair headaches. He knows he needs to connect his audience with the name, so he calls them Little Degrassi's. He calls the parents Little Degrassi's too, because they don't know what they're doing either. The parents get a kick out of it. Everyone's connected to the problem, and he builds culture connection. He builds brand loyalty. Next principle. Pick a culture you will be proud of. What's this? The culture you should create for your brand should be one you're excited to be a part of. No funny business. When should this apply? Before you introduce your culture, ask yourself, would I be proud to be a part of this? Where does this apply? All throughout your culture. Why does this matter? One of the core principles of lifestyle branding is coolness. We don't play people out because we're not emotional. Chills. How does this apply? Before you put your culture page to your site, you need to ask yourself, do you feel cool about it? Do you feel confident about it? If so, proceed. For example, you got this super sexy lady. She's beautiful. She has this dope brand of helping couples and friends find classy adult gifts. Her top seller is this sexy bouquet, which has a beautiful arrangements of flowers and has adult entertainment products hidden throughout the bouquet. She has a culture brand, of course, because she trusts her wavy business coach. Her first design for her culture was a little too intense, a little bit past her adult entertainment comfort zone. So she redesigned her culture brand for this classy, sophisticated adult entertainment culture vibe. This matched her temperament way better. Now she's proud of her culture and proud to tell people she's part of it. If she didn't make that adjustment, she would have been hesitant, and that's not cool. When it comes to lifestyle branding, realness is a major factor. Only ask people to support what you will be proud of. Be cool. Next principle. Your lifestyle brand website needs to have a culture page. What's that? A page on your website that displays your cultural principles and your mission. When should you build this? As soon as you design your culture page, upload it to your site with your logo. Where should I put this? You could put it on its own tab or underneath another, but try not to have too many tabs on your site. Easy choices, happy customers. Why do I need a culture page? Because it's a source of value for your clients, and so you want them to be aware that it exists. How do I design a culture page? Keep it simple. Let your clients know who the host is, what your mission is, your culture brand principles, and anything else relevant to the problem. But look, nobody needs to know what your favorite chips or Cheetos are unless your brand is coming up with new flavors. Example. This dude, he has this lifestyle brand where he solved the problem of helping urban kids get back to school supplies around urban culture by making it easier for the parents by searching for these items and packaging them together. One of the top products he sells is he repaints kids' backpacks with their favorite athletes, rappers, and superheroes. So he has his culture around the problem. He put his culture page not thinking much of it. But what he doesn't know is one of his customers wasn't too sure about his brand until she read one of his principles. Kids can stay connected to the culture and still stay focused in school. She was sold, and she is now one of his biggest supporters. You have to have your principles so your people can know who they're rocking with.